Most entrepreneurs have this idea that once they hit a certain number in their bank account, boom, peace of mind just shows up. But what if that's completely backward? What if financial stability isn't the cause of inner peace, but actually the result of it? Okay, let's dive into this, because today we're talking about why a calm mind is your most powerful and most profitable strategic asset.
And this right here, this is the entire thesis. This isn't about wellness or some fluffy new age concept. Nope. This is about pure, hard-nosed financial strategy. A frantic, chaotic mind will burn through your capital, it will sabotage huge opportunities, and it will make emotionally driven mistakes, guaranteed. Inner peace, on the other hand, well, that acts like a fortress around your wealth.
So, let's get real about what actually happens when you hit it big, but you don't have the mental framework to handle it. This is what I call the paradox of success. And honestly, it's a trap I see high performers fall into all the time.
I want to tell you about a coaching student of mine. This guy, he finally broke through. We're talking his first six-figure month, $100,000. That's a monumental achievement by any standard. This is the goal, right? This is the moment you've been grinding for.
But that's not what happened. Not even close. The expectation? To feel on top of the world, like a king. The reality? He said he felt like a fugitive, constantly looking over his shoulder, obsessively checking his accounts, just waiting for it all to come crashing down. See, the money didn't bring him calm. It just amplified his anxiety. And this, right here, is where things get really dangerous. Because that feeling, that frantic, panicked energy, it isn't just uncomfortable, it is incredibly expensive. A mind that's operating from a place of panic doesn't build empires, it sets them on fire.
And look, this is not a one-off thing. I was talking with another founder recently who was, in his own words, literally drowning in success. It's this terrifying inverse relationship. The more his bank account grew, the more his peace of mind just evaporated. He was terrified of losing everything he'd built.
So what does that terror lead to? It leads to tangible, expensive, boneheaded mistakes. Look at these panic-driven decisions. Firing reliable vendors out of pure paranoia that they're costing you too much. Making huge reactive business pivots to save a company that isn't even in danger. Meddling with systems that are working perfectly fine, just optimizing them into the ground. This isn't strategy, it's self-sabotage fueled by fear. So here's the crucial point. Wealth, without the mental calm to actually manage it, is just a different kind of scarcity. It's poverty with more decimal places. Yeah, you have the resources, but you are trapped in the exact same mindset of lack and fear. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? This is where we make the critical shift. We have to stop seeing inner peace as some soft, desirable feeling and start treating it as what it is, a hard-edged, non-negotiable business strategy. Let me be absolutely clear about this. Your true number one asset isn't your cash flow, it's not your IP, it's not even your team. It is the quality of the thinking happening right here, between your ears. That clarity is the engine that drives every good decision and protects you from every single bad one. And this slide, right here, this lays out the whole paradigm shift perfectly. The old, broken way of thinking is, if I just get the money, then I'll finally be able to relax. The strategic, sustainable way is understanding that cultivating calm first is what allows you to build, to grow, and, most importantly, to protect the money. So how do we build this strategically? This isn't about wishful thinking or meditation apps. It's about installing actual operational systems for your mind. We're going to focus on two core tools that fall under what I call the decision protocol. There's the protocol itself, and then a key component of it called the silence buffer.
Okay, first, the decision protocol. This is basically a predefined framework for making any high-stakes choice. Think of it like an operating system for your brain that forces you to check decisions against your core principles and your long-term goals, taking your immediate emotional freakout state out of the equation. It's a set of questions you have to ask. Does this move align with our one-year vision? What's the real second-order consequence of this? It's all about grounding your moves in strategy, not survival.
Now, a key piece of that protocol is the silence buffer. And this is a simple but incredibly powerful rule. Before any major financial decision, we're talking a key hire, a big investment, a product pivot, you enforce a mandatory 24-hour waiting period. The goal here is brutally simple. Create clean space between an emotional impulse and a strategic action. Now, putting this into practice is super straightforward, but it takes discipline. Step 1. You identify and formally flag a major financial decision. This isn't for deciding what to have for lunch. This is for the moves that have real consequences. Step 2 is the hardest part. Enforce that 24-hour detachment buffer. And that means you step away completely. No checking the numbers, no quick calls about it, no talking it over. You create true mental space. Then step 3. After that 24 hours is up, you re-engage with the decision. The clarity you get by just letting the emotional noise and the false urgency fade, that's a game-changing strategic advantage.
When you make these tools a non-negotiable part of your operating system, something really powerful starts to happen. You make the final shift. You stop being a high-paid gambler just waiting for the house to win, and you start becoming truly financially untouchable. This is the core identity shift you have to make. You have to internalize deep down that your personal value, your worth as a founder, as a person, has absolutely nothing to do with the daily ups and downs of a spreadsheet or a market chart. Because when a dip in revenue doesn't cause a dip in your self-worth, you become dangerous.
And just look at the difference here. When you make decisions from a place of panic, you're haunted by ghosts. You're seeing all the things that might go wrong. You're playing defense. But when you make those same decisions from a place of calm, of power, you're not seeing ghosts anymore. You're seeing the gaps. You see the opportunities that your panicked competitors are completely blind to.
So I'm going to ask you directly. Think about your last 3 major business decisions. Were they born from a place of quiet, strategic power, or from a frantic place of panic? Be honest with yourself. The answer to that question is everything.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one simple sequential command. This is your new mantra. Before you hit send, before you sign the contract, before you make the hire, find the calm. Then, and only then, you make the move. If this idea of strategic peace resonates with you and you're ready to stop letting chaos dictate your financial future, then the next step is to surround yourself with other people on the exact same path. Join us in the 365 Freedom Community. It's where we work on building these exact mental environments where your peace, and by extension your profit, becomes truly non-negotiable.